So biofortification of staple crops 4. In this we have cassava, the biofortification of cassava, and then we have sweet potato, and then we have potato. So this is very brief about all these three. So we'll finish quickly. Cassava is a staple crop in sub-Sahara Africa, and it's very starchy roots and rank first in total production in South Africa, in sub-Sahara Africa. It is second to maize as a source of dietary energy there, and then among the world's staple crops, cassava has the lowest protein energy. So the people in Africa, they are consuming it, but it has a very low energy. And then cassava is deficient in iron, zinc, provitamin A, and vitamin E. So there are deficiencies in that. It means people who are consuming this food as a staple, so they are very prone to deficiency of these micronutrients. So if we look at the map, we can see that it is not only cultivated in Africa, but it is cultivated in many other parts of the world. For example, in China, in India, and in the other South Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries. So then it's also in South American countries. So it is being cultivated there, but as a staple, it is used in many countries in Africa, especially in sub-Sahara African countries, because they don't have alternatives there. Here are 10 or 12 countries which are producing cassava. The Nigeria is the major contributor. Then we have Thailand, Indonesia, Brazil, Angola, Ghana, Democratic Republic of Congo, then Vietnam, Cambodia, India, Malawi, and Tanzania. So we have many countries which have a high production of this cassava, and in Africa they are using as staple food. So not in the whole Africa, but in some countries, especially in sub-Sahara African countries. So as it was deficient in the different vitamins, if we just look at the history, between 1970 and 2007, its production and acreage tripled across Africa, and even quadrupled in Nigeria. So it means its demand has been increased from 1970 to 2007. The continent and the world's largest producer, of course, in Nigeria. The sub-Saharan African producers over 8 million tons of fresh food of cassava in 2008. So 95% were consumed as a food. But the nutrition survey tells that in cassava consuming areas of Nigeria and Kenya, there is inadequate intake of vitamin A, 83% and 41%, and then inadequate iron intake in 43% and 78% of preschool age children in Nigeria and Kenya respectively. So it means that is the issue. So I think in 2005 or even before that, the project was started to biofortify, because the alternative, so they were difficult to produce there. The economics of those people doesn't allow to buy imported food. So the best way could be that if the quality of cassava can be improved. So the work was done on the cassava zinc content. It contains approximately 10 ppm in the root cortex, overexpression of some vacuole membrane localized genes. They enhance the zinc content. Overexpression of zip transporter was similar to what was observed when in the Oryza sativa. So the zip was overexpressed. Similar results for achieved for cassava as well. And overexpression of zinc transporter has been successful in altering the zinc content of multiple tissues, including roots. So roots is the main which is being used as a food. So then there was a project for iron. Actually, that was the same project, but that has some parts for iron biofortification, zinc, and then vitamin A. Third most limiting nutrient for plant growth owing to its low solubility, we know that. Iron concentration 10 ppm in cassava storage roots, however, are insufficient to meet the daily requirements. The 10 ppm in the tubers, so that was not, or roots, that was not sufficient. Increasing the iron uptake using an iron specific stimulatory protein, FEA1, from chlamydomonas is of major concern. So that was utilized to develop a transgenic having high iron content. The iron content of young 2 months old wild type uh, fibrous root was approximately 800 ppm. But by the time the roots had fully expanded, the iron content had been reduced nearly 100-fold. So this reduction may be due to the tuberization, starch accumulation, and then a reduction in iron uptake associated with the loss of root hairs in storage roots. Uh, because in the young roots there was a high concentration, but in the older roots the concentration was decreased. So there were multiple reasons guessed, and the one reason was that the tuberization, because when there will be more starch accumulation, the concentration will be reduced, of course. And then uh, at later stages, the root hairs are very less in storage roots, all kind of storage root plants, and then the iron uptake is reduced. So iron content was increased by introducing FEA gene in cassava, and that not only enhanced the iron uptake, but it enhanced the other genes and over regulated the other genes which are responsible for transfer of this iron from one tissue to other, and then in the end accumulation into the uh, roots. So in this way, that success was made to enhance iron content in the roots. Then the protein content, cassava roots contain average 1% to 2% protein by dry weight. 500 gram cassava meal provides 30% of the daily protein requirements. तो इट मीन्स कि अगर वो आधा किलो कसावा मील लेता है तो वो 30% सिर्फ उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी होती है. इसमें जो issues थे, the cyanogens provide reduced nitrogen substrate for amino acid synthesis in the cassava root. So that was one reason that the nitrogen was utilized for the production of these cyanogens, and then for amino acids there was less nitrogen. So inhibition of linemarine synthesis in leaves results in up to 99% reduction in root linemarine content. These linemarine content, they also utilize nitrogen, and then the available nitrogen for free amino acids, so that is reduced. So that was done by targeting lineamarase enzymes to the vacuole. Using a Barley vacuole targeting sequencing resulted in an average 60% increase in total free amino acids in roots, as well as 25% in leaves. So इस एक टारगेट अचीव करने पे 60% वो प्रोटीन कंटेंट जो है वो ज्यादा हो गया रूट्स में, जो टारगेट था, और जो 25% प्रोटीन वो लीव्स में भी ज्यादा हो गई. इसका मतलब है कि वो अगर फोरेज के तौर पे यूज होता है तो दैट कैन आल्सो बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर एनिमल्स. Then another success for this cassava was to enhance the provitamin A content. Provitamin A biofortification is all trans beta carotene. which is produced by plastid localized methyl erythritol phosphate isoprenoid. So this is a pathway which is utilized to enhance the uh, beta carotene concentration. Antisun suppression of beta carotene hydrolysis has been shown to enhance beta carotene concentration of potato tubers. And then the two strategies, bacterial phytene synthase gene, and then the co-expression of codon optimized CRTB. So these were the two strategies which were used to enhance the provitamin A content. So when we talk about the biofortification, I had also asked the question in the quiz. So it's not vitamin A, but it's the provitamin A, or you can say the beta carotene, so which is actually a provitamin A. So that was the success made for cassava, and the color was changed in the transgenic, of course, when you have a carotenoid pigment, then which is of course for provitamin A, and that changed the color of the cassava. So you can observe here from that is the wild type, and that was the transgenic. Uh, Vitamin A biofortified cassava varieties or cultivars are being used in Nigeria and Congo, and in another in Sierra Leone as well. In other countries, I think in some other country has also been started, the developed varieties has also been released officially, and they are using this. So it means the genetically biofortified cassava cultivars are being used in Africa. So we have already discussed about rice that had various issues. The reasons may be multiple for that, because uh, the Africans countries, so they are less resistant to such kind of intervention, because the first priority is to provide the food to the people. So if you don't have food, so you cannot choose A or B. So if you don't have any other option, so you have to go for it. Although there are also issues, and there is some resistance in different countries as well, but in most countries the resistance is less as compared to other countries where the rice was released actually. So the success has been made, and the people they are using vitamin A biofortified cassava, and even zinc, and everything has been made in one cultivar, which is high in zinc, iron, protein, and cassava. And this linamurine also gives bitterness to the roots, which has also been eliminated, because when its production in the roots was decreased, the bitterness was also decreased. So even that was also a toxic, because earlier the people used to peel it, and then some of the linamurine was removed, and then they used to boil it. After boiling some linamurine, so that is reduced, and the bitterness is reduced, and even the toxicity is reduced. But now, so they have already low concentration of linamurine in the roots. So next we have a sweet potato. So there are also success stories for that. The sweet potato is also grown worldwide. So we have also sweet potato shakarkandi. You used to eat it, and it is well distributed throughout the world. So, but the main producers, so they are China. So they are producing a lot of sweet potato. Of course, in Africa they are also producing that, and the biofortification of this sweet potato and the biofortified are called as orange fleshed sweet potato. Because the sweet potato is some are kind of white color, some are off white or yellow color, but the provitamin A or vitamin A biofortified sweet potato, they have orange color. So that's why they has been called orange fleshed sweet potato. So they can retain. So that is also transgenic, and that can retain is 83 to 92% after boiling. And if you oven dry it, then that can also retain 47 to 48%. If you have a 6 millimeter thick slices, if you have 3 millimeters, then 37, 4 to 37. And then if you have 1 to 1 centimeter cubes, then you have a 31 to 37% retention. If you shade dry, then it is 18 to 23% retention. Sun drying, that is 9 to 15%. So there are various processing, you say, estimates for the retention. The best one is that if you boil it, and then you have a maximum amount of provitamin A in that. So this has been successfully used in Mozambique and also in one another country. So they are baking it like a bread, and they name it golden bread. And that golden bread has also a good quantity of provitamin A. So this is being utilized and promoted. So actually there are many efforts which are being made to promote biofortified varieties and food in Africa. Because the people, as I said earlier, that some countries, they have a lot of resistance. Even the people, the rich people, they have a very less acceptability as compared to poor people. So the same as we have here. So the rich people, they are more conscious to their food as compared to to food quality, and as compared to poor. But at the same time, if you have some suspicion, for example, for transgenic, some people have worldwide, and the rich people are mostly well aware of the rumors throughout the world. So they will not go for that transgenic. But the people who don't have access to much food, and they don't also not have any access to the media, which is responsible for all kind of rumors. So there are a lot of discussion about this transgenic approach, but up till now there is no such kind of any, you say, the disadvantage of using this transgenic food products. Uh, but even then the people, so they say if they can produce with conventional breeding, that is of course the best one. But if you don't have any other option, and the transgenic also not have any disadvantage or any, you say, the unhealthy effect on the population which are using such kind of food. But of course, it can have, if, because it's also very slow process. If you continuously use something for many years, so that may have any impact, maybe to 60, 70 years. So, but for the time being, there is no such kind of effect. So then the potato, the efforts are also being made, and we know that potato is also cultivated throughout the world and being eaten very, what you can, in a liking way. So most of the people, they like to eat potatoes in different forms, kind of chips or the other food products. Potato breeding has also been done, but that is not a transgenic, but the people, they choose some cultivars which were rich in iron and zinc, and they use for the breeding program, and they achieved iron 32 to 45 ppm from baseline concentration of 20 ppm. Mean the wild type that had 20, if they started from 20, and then they got 32 to 45 ppm. And then for zinc, they achieved 22 to 37 ppm from baseline concentration of 16 ppm in iron. It means 2-gram potato per day provides 30% of estimated average requirement of a woman against 12% from conventional varieties. कि एक पाव से भी कम अगर एक दरमियाना सा आलू अगर एक औरत एक दिन में खा ले तो वो 30% रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो पूरी करती है उसकी जिंक और आयरन की. So there are other strategies also to enhance the nutrition of potato. So this is relatively newer. So the people, they are also working on folate biofortification of potato, because the folate is also issued throughout the world, and in the Europe, so the women, so they are also deficient in folate, and but they are utilizing the supplements, the tablets means they are using in different occasions, are different their life stages. Uh, so the Europeans, they are conscious for that, and they are trying to produce folate biofortified transgenic potatoes. You can observe here, this is a wild type, and these are the biofortified with some kind of genes responsible for folate accumulation in the tubers. So you can see there are clear differences from these are the different genes manipulation which has been achieved. So this slide will conclude with three key points which we have discussed in last four lectures, biofortification of staples 1, 2, 3, and 4. Biofortified staple crops like orange maize, orange cassava, and orange sweet potato can provide 50 to 100% of child's daily vitamin A needs. So it means they can, if they are being utilized as staples, they can provide the 100% amount of vitamin A. Biofortified beans contained up to twice the amount of iron as common varieties. So double amount of iron in beans, and reverse iron deficiency in young women when consumed daily. So अगर वो daily इस्तेमाल करें तो उसकी iron की deficiency जो है वो reduce हो जाती है. High iron pearl millets helps reverse iron deficiency in school. तो ये भी study हमने मेरा discuss भी की है pearl millet की biofortification में. That can also reduce the iron deficiency. A food-based diet providing 4 milligram of extra zinc a day, the amount provided by biofortified crops like zinc rice. So if you are eating zinc rice, so it means you are taking extra 4 milligram zinc. So that improve zinc absorption and improve the immune function. So that is sufficient. If you are eating rice as a staple, which is biofortified, and you have extra only 4 milligram of zinc, so that is sufficient. So that was all about today. This is the last slide I found somewhere, this table showing the essential human nutrients. I think the person who is working on human nutrition chapter or first chapter, so this table can be utilized here, because this is telling us the micronutrients and macronutrient in a very simple way. So thank you very much.